shot. Here it comes!
McElroy! Oh, off the legs and Topple!
Charlton going for a 1-2 and getting it! Oh, what a goal!
After the glory of the 1960s, Manchester United experienced a turbulent decade with relegation and 3 cup final appearances. We asked 4 of the 1977 cup-winning team to pick their 70s dream team. A favourite of the Stretford end, Jimmy Greenhoff. Cockney winger Gordon Hill, plucked from obscurity, later capped by his country. The ever-reliable Alex Stepney, the man who stopped Eusebio, played 535 times for United. Fiery frontman Stuart Pearson, a brave, old-fashioned striker in the best traditions of the club. These players had to follow in the steps of the likes of Charlton, Best, and Law. This was the type of champagne football that the side of the 70s had to emulate. Will these legends make the team sheet for United's team of the decade?
Best is up front. There he is, the defence split. Can he do it? He surely must. What a goal to score, and who could score it but George Best?
Law was saying he wants it in the air, so too does Dowling. And Law, in fact, with an overhead kick, and it's there! Number 5 by Dennis Law. Charlton. Best! Charlton, 3-1. With his perfect balance. Again after the Law. Sadler. To Morgan. Best! A great goal!
The contenders really, obviously we've got one of them here with us tonight. Jimmy Rimmer, who played for England. Paddy Roach, of course, who had a little spell in the side. He's still around in the game. And Gary Bailey at the end of the decade. Stuart?
I don't think it's a contest. It's got to be my pal next to me, the old kid.
I love him.
It's just not a contest, is it? I mean, with respect to all them lads that you've said, they're all good friends of ours, but it's just not a contest.
Schmeichel's got a long throw, but I tell you what, the time and time again, when this guy got the ball and launched it at us, we were attacking, and we'd drop about 5-10 yards inside our own half, and the ball would come and would be directly on the attack, which was nice, you know, for me, and also for Stevie. There was outlets for him, which was, you know, was the first thing he was always looking at.
We're actually the leading goal scorer one season, Alex, for us.
I know, it was embarrassing, wasn't it? I mean, Doc, he paid out, what, £100,000, which was a lot of money in those days for forwards, and he asked me to take the penalties. I mean, that was good management, and we picked him, but anyway. I scored 2, missed 1, and it went for throwing. It hit the keeper, but it went for throwing.
Must have seemed very strange, actually.
Well,
I had to practice my sprinting just in case I did.
Who did you score against, Alex?
I scored against Shilton.
I know you did because I was there watching.
Yeah, and Mike Kelly.
Yeah.
But Mike Kelly's the goalkeeper coach, isn't he? I sent him the wrong way.
Were they embarrassed?
That's not hard, Al. That's not hard.
I used to shout a lot, but I don't think I moaned as much as Peter Schmeichel.
No, sure you did. And he never had a towel. No, never had a towel. I think it was the back of the sleeve, wasn't
That's it, all right.
it? I know him. It's fine.
You're in, Alex. You can stay.
Hey? Thank you.
You can stay. What about the fullbacks then? You were paying great compliments there to Arthur Olberston, weren't you? I mean,
Yeah,
you liked him.
I thought Arthur was one of the unsung heroes.
Yes.
I thought he had a great talent and his great love for the sport. He was a lovely lad as well, which helped.
Away by Booth. Arthur Olberston coming in. Oh, I say! Arthur Olberston, his first goal ever for Manchester United in a senior match.
Right back.
Well, I thought Jimmy Nicholl did a really good job when he came
Jimmy
in the
came
team.
in from Brucey, didn't he?
Yeah, and the
And
good
he done
thing,
a
I think,
very good
as a striker, and Jim will tell you this, I think sometimes you'll judge the fullbacks on the service we get, and we always used to get good service off Stu Houston, Arthur Albiston, Jimmy Nicholl. The way we played, it was good for us because they played everything into our feet, so they had a good talent at passing, and also I think if we had a weakness in our team, being honest, it was maybe because we went forward so much that teams are always going to score goals against us. So Jimmy and Arthur, they were sound defensively, but they were probably more attacking fullbacks than anything else.
There was another
They
Alex.
were both so fit as well.
Yeah.
They could get up
Yeah,
and down.
up and down.
Up and down, up and down. They didn't need anyone to defend for them like usually took in once they've gone on. Oh, they'd get back for you.
Yeah, they would.
I think from Stuart and I's point of view is that they knew that we would come to it 9 times out of 10 to feet.
Right.
And before we showed for the ball would be on its way.
Yeah.
And we loved them for that.
That's
Yeah.
right. And the
Early
good thing
ball.
for
They
Jimmy
had the
Nicholl,
guts to do it, put it there before
Before
we
it,
showed.
yeah,
They knew
yeah,
we were going to
yeah.
come at the end.
Again, it sounds like no contest of Nicholl and Olberston for the two full-back
Yeah, I mean,
positions.
Alex Forsyth was a candidate as well, but, I mean, he done more going forward. He was good at free kicks around the box. He had a
they had
tremendous
a
shot
shot,
on him, you know. But, like, he couldn't get back as good as Jimmy Nicholl.
the reason he wouldn't get in the team, he was a danger in the warm-up. He used to kick the ball around so hard that we had, God rest his soul, Big Jim Holden once. He had to come off.
Yeah.
He was injured.
Your eyes are watering.
Because Alex he just hit him and he did
Broke
his
his leg again, didn't he?
did his knee ligament.
Centre backs, I mean, you would think if we're in for a 4-4-2 system,
Right.
what about the two centre backs? Would you go for a real contrast, Martin Buchan, Gordon McQueen sort of thing, or who would the other
Well, for me,
contenders?
Martin Buchan's been the best defender
Martin,
the club's
yes.
had for a long time. I thought
Without
the
doubt.
Mad was a different class, and I think if you wanted the ideal combination, you'd probably have Martin Buchan playing alongside Gary Pallister now. I mean, you know,
If you
that's
had it,
that's
yeah.
how highly I rate Martin. I thought he was a world-class
He was-
defender.
He was
I
a
thought he was
commander,
different
wasn't
class, yeah.
Looking for Keegan. Brilliant control by Keegan and a fine tackle by Buchan. Pace has gone through again. Buchan was there.
For me, he's the best defender in English football today. I think if he's got a fault for me, he doesn't get into the game enough. I think he could do more, take more responsibility than he does even now. But having said that, he never gets exposed. He's always got a cool head on him. He's not a particularly good user of the ball, but then he always releases it early to players around him who are, like Stuart Houston and players like this. So for me, as I said, I can't pay him any greater compliment than that. He's the hardest player that I have to play against every season.
Our captain was one of the biggest characters I think I've ever come across in football, Martin Buchan. Never went on his backside in a tackle. Read the game immaculately. He was an immaculate man. He came to training always in a collar and tie. That was his upbringing, I think, and he was a tremendous captain. Took a lot of pressure off the rest of the guys.
Gemmell. They had moved away from it. Well won by Buchan. Promising for United.
Jimmy's brother, I thought he did a great job when he went to centre back because originally he was a midfield player, and everybody thought would get caught a little bit in the air
Yes,
because
that's right.
because height-wise we never, we
We
was
weren't
lacking a
tall,
little
we
bit.
weren't.
They were both
We weren't
under
big
6
size.
feet,
Right.
but we never really got punished. We never really got exposed to the extent that
We
everybody
could
thought
challenge.
we were.
We could challenge.
But the good thing about them, they were both so comfy on the ball as well. We had a back four that everybody wanted the ball. They were so comfy on it that you could do anything.
And they read the situation, didn't they? You know, I mean, Martin was
It was
great.
great
at
at
it,
reading
you
the
know.
situation. You talk about
It was
Bobby.
so quick, he
Bobby
had cover
Moore.
up.
Who did you like being behind best of all, Alex?
Well, I like Brian and Martin as my sort of middle men because they read it so well together. If the ball was a long ball was put down the middle, if Martin was there, Martin would go and Brian would just drop off. I mean, all right, before we had Jim Holton, but Jim was just like a big normal centre half, big stopper, but could get caught flat-footed.
Jimmy, does your kid brother get in your team then?
Yeah, it does. I mean, Stuart's got a point there. I mean, I rate Pallister so high, and I've never thought about that combination. And he maybe differ a little bit, but I thought them two played ever so well together. And like Alex said, they were always comfortable on the ball. I think what somebody took from me was with Tommy Docherty when I was a little bit concerned about the height as well. And he says, how many free headers do you really get on that score goals? It's always the pieces. And he wanted that in our penalty area.
Well, this was a switch.
Just give a good challenge.
Richie, and it's not easy for Godden now as McElroy prepares to swing it in. Brian Greenlaw!
As far as I'm concerned, it's Louis and Sam. They both had great engines. They both scored goals.
I mean, people are going to say we're biased on this, you know, when they obviously see the 70s, but I can honestly say that, I mean, seeing some of them, Ray Wilkins and players like that came through, looking at Sammy and Louis, I mean, combination, I mean, if you watch the videos here, you're looking at two great players. Engine, as Al said, Louis has got an engine on him. I mean, he used to just go into overtime, you know, and he used to just keep going. And Sammy would be exactly the same. And you could always rely on those two to be at the heart of it, in the middle there.
Bakari out to Greenoff. Koppel. Pearson was in there again. Oh, Bakari! Nickel. McElroy. Thomas. Oh, some space here. Naylor coming to cut it down. Oh, and Kendall caught in two minds. Stretford end in obvious delight. And Sam McElroy gives United real breathing space. That was awkward for Ross, and it's got in. And Lou Bakari seems to be making a habit of scoring early against Carlisle.
In a little bit of trouble here. McElroy, good change of feet, and a great goal!
Was Jerry Daly a contender?
Jerry was a contender, but Jerry was a super player. But he would be. It's again like Jim says. If you was going to play three across the middle there and take one of the wingers out, you'd put Jerry in there. You'd have a look at Jerry or Ray Wilkins. You know, it all depended what type of system you wanted to stick out there.
He was an excellent player.
He was an excellent player.
And he was unpredictable as well.
Yeah.
He had similar
you
qualities to the other two.
Yeah.
He'd score goals,
Yes,
run all
that's
day,
right.
bite a fag,
Yeah.
pint of Guinness.
Oh, is it Guinness? Okay.
Jerry Daly, the midfield motorman. Era international. Tremendous player.
Can we decide what sort of a pattern you're going to play?
I think we all love to play 4-4-2, you know, two wingers sucking in after you've lost the ball.
4-4-2 then. Let's take the two wings. I mean, Stevie Coppell's an outstanding
Yeah.
one.
I think Stevie was a great servant for the club, and it was just a shame when he had
Yeah,
to finish
yeah.
the game through with his
Yeah, I
bad
think he
knees.
got better as he progressed.
Yeah.
You know, from coming from Tranmere. I think he was a bit shy at the beginning, and he was just a sort of up and down player. But when he realised the way we were playing, that he could take one, and also he scored goals as well.
Ball breaking a couple. In the box, it's in! And United judged it. And Koppel!
Wilkins. And the shot was deflected off John Walker. There's a bit of trouble there. And a goal! Steve Koppel.
If you want to talk about the other winger, there was no better left winger than this guy, because what did he play? 150 odd games and scored 60 goals roundabout, and that's from a winger
For £70,000.
whatever. Yeah. I mean, I go back to the 67 side, you know, and we had wingers like Best was scoring 20 goals a season, and we had David Herb was scoring, you know,
Right, David.
and Johnny Aston was scoring. There's only one that was George Best. I mean, he stands out unbelievable, you know. I mean, we were playing Liverpool on the Saturday. Friday morning training before the game, he just came to me and said, can you just come and try this with me? So I said, what do you want? He said, well, you get on your goal line. He said, I'm going to sort of do it 60-40 for me, just come out and narrow the angle. He knocked it, I came out, and he came at me, and I got to the point where I'm making him, now I've got to dive. And all he did was he toe punted it against my shins, got the 1-2 and just slid it in the back of the net. The following day, he done it against Tommy Lawrence.
Left. With McCready, and McCready's made a catch, and it's a magnificent goal! Yes, what a magnificent goal! A truly brilliant!
The lads that played with me, we had 10 really good players in the team, and I don't think we had a George Best in our team. I think George would be anybody's favourite, I suppose. He's got to be in the top 3 all-time best players ever. And we just had 11 very good pros who were all good at what they do.
This is the big problem, Alex, with picking a side, isn't it, from the 70s, because the decade actually started with Charlton at 9, Law at 10,
That's right,
Best at
that's
11.
right. But
And they stayed for 2 or 3 seasons.
It stayed for 2 or 3 seasons, but with all credit to them, I think that was the 60s was theirs.
60 side was that.
You know,
Yeah.
we've got to say that, you know, that they were finishing off their career like I was in 79.
Willie Morgan, of course, was quite influential for a
Give me a
period.
five.
Well, we're talking about footballers now. Okay.
It likes you really well.
No, I wouldn't swap these two, honestly, him and Stevie. I mean, I played with them, I love them. He was so unpredictable. Stevie was a little bit more predictable. But no, 20 goals a man, 20 goals a season, this man.
All right.
I
Central
still don't think he got the recognition he probably deserved, Gordon. He's a bit of a joker off the pitch, and he got a little bit of stick on it sometimes. We all give him stick because, like Jimmy said, he was unpredictable. But as an out-and-out goal-scoring winger, he was the best I've seen.
Unbelievable.
Without doubt, the best.
That's
You
good.
a bit of a character off the field, Gordon.
Yeah, I've always. I mean,
I was unfortunate to room with him
He wasn't
You know.
doing Norman Wisdom impressions in the middle of the night, was he?
every night.
I fell out of
Every
bed once
day.
doing that. I fell out of bed, I think. Well, I fell out of bed. Who's that? Don't panic.
20 years on, he's still doing it.
Still do it, but without the camera. Yeah.
Norman Wisdom still talking.
He's making a comeback, isn't he?
He's doing Gordon Hill impressions.
He's doing it. Yeah. He's trying to cross the ball.
Well, he's the top scorer this season for Manchester United, Gordon Hill, with 22 goals, which is not bad for a winger, especially one who's sometimes accused of daydreaming.
Hill trying to turn it and does! Gordon Hill!
Well, we've come then to the 2 strikers. This might get a bit more difficult, mightn't it? Because, I mean, we've got 2 sitting here, obviously, and yet you've got to say that Joe Jordan would be a contender, I would have thought. And,
For what?
and probably, and probably
I mean,
Andy Ritchie, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I would.
Yeah, Andy was a good striker. I don't think that I thought he got a raw deal at United. I thought he was pushed out way too early, and probably proved that in the end of the day. Joe Jordan came in 77, I think. 78. So, you know,
So
if we're
that's
talking
part.
70s, it's
Back
know.
to where we was.
And Brian Kidd, again, you'd have put 60s rather than 70s,
that's right.
would you?
That's right.
They played with.
Kid in there, we've got problems, haven't we? Because he could play.
Yeah. But if you're looking at 2 front runners, I mean, and Jimmy hit the nail on the head when he said we never had the height. But I tell you what, you put a ball in there, and I've not seen 2 players that could get up and challenge and hold the ball up and move and have a shall we say, a sixth sense of each other to know where each other was running. I mean, I would not, and this is without, I would categorically put them 2 straight in.
Thomas
McElroy is just inside. Greenough is far post. Jimmy Greenough! And again, Greenough to Koppel. Oh, it's going to come to Pearson, 2-0.
If you go back, you had Keegan and Toshak.
Yes.
Who had this sort of, they had all this
telepathic
thing. These two were as good as. We could lay balls up there and they played off each other.
Yeah.
Well, you're very agreeable, all four of you. I think we've got a
I don't.
team there.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not doing it for the cameras.
No, no.
We're not just saying this because of it. But I really feel that way about two front runners, you know. And when Jimmy never joined us, and it was Louis up there with Pancho, and then the doc turned around and said we need another forward. Then all of a sudden Jimmy's come in, and it was great because you could put the ball, and it was like quick. It was 100 mile an hour, but it was controlled.
I cannot understand how he's never played for England.
He's the best
For
uncapped
me,
player I've ever seen.
that's
true.
Best uncapped player I've ever seen.
It was just a
that-
pleasure to
and that-
play with. He was so good at what he did, honestly. And you
That
talked
doesn't
about
go
a
from us.
telepathic thing. It
That
wasn't.
doesn't go from us.
It
That
wasn't
goes from
like
all
that,
the players
really.
that
But
played with him.
we knew exactly
Yes.
where each
Yeah.
other was going to be, and sometimes it's called vision.
But it shows you the
isn't it?
calibre
It's
of players that
vision.
were around when Jimmy was going, trying to get that cap. I tell you what, and you asked a lot of players, most of the professionals that were playing, best uncapped player that we've ever. I mean, it was a pleasure.
I played.
Class.
I was lucky
Class.
enough to play 15 times for England, and I played with Kevin Keegan, who was a great player. Mike Shannon's and all, but he was better than them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shame, as I said. Like Jim said, he'd love to have been about 10 years earlier, and played together, because he definitely would have picked up a cap. In my eyes, he would have picked up a cap because everybody talks about it.
I think if you'd have crossed a few more early, he might have scored a few more goals.
Yeah,
He might have
I'm
got
sorry,
that.
Jim.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But what you tend to do even now, you tend to look at players at different areas, don't you? Talking about
That's right.
nowadays, Andy Cole and Cantona. And I'm sure, without being big-headed, myself and Jimmy would have done well in any era.
As Jimmy Greenoff's header on for Pearson. A chance on here. And Pearson is the scorer.
Who'll be the manager then of this team?
For the 70s, it'd have to be the Doc. It's got to be the Doc because he took the club down. Well, he took the club down. He managed the club, but it went down. I mean, but he had the guts to really change the system and get a lot of youth back into United, which Busby had done before.
He kept signing you, Gordon, didn't he? Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, he liked flying football, the dog. He wouldn't mind you losing one goal, providing you scored two, or if you lost two, as long as you score three.
And the reason we enjoyed it so much with the Doc, he never ever give a team talk to me, Doc. Never ever.
Really?
Did he?
No.
Have you ever heard him give a team talk? He was different class. The training was spot on.
Yes.
We never ever left our legs on the training pitch.
This was his
We used to have a
team
Monday off. Monday off, maybe golfing. Tuesday was our hard day, but it was probably a doddle compared to nowadays. Wednesday off. Thursday, bit of pattern of play. Friday morning.
I'm sorry.
If
Jog
do what
around
you want,
fireside.
do what you want. Basically, I think they're into diets
Yeah.
a lot more
Yeah,
nowadays.
they
They
are,
look
yeah.
after the body a little bit more, and
Don't know if we
Course,
could.
now.
we used to like to enjoy ourselves. A few pints,
For brandies and
too many at
Smart
times
shopping.
probably.
But before the game, the doc would come in, and the cab was a classic.
Tommy
because
Cab was
he would come in, and he
with
wouldn't
a team
worry.
sheet.
He'd come in with a team sheet.
and
He'd
the
go,
referee.
he'd go, there's their team.
Well, rubbish.
Throw it on the floor.
Put it in the
And that
rubbish
was
bin.
it. Put it in the rubbish bin. And that was the last you saw of it until someone picked it up and said, "Oh, we have to turn this in.
Who are we playing?
Who are we playing against?"
In 1977, it was Liverpool. The ultimate Old Trafford hero remembers the less successful days, 5 years before the Doc's moment of triumph.
Then we had a sort of merry-go-round of managers, and the whole thing changed. The team was changing. A lot of good players and some great players had to be replaced, and weren't being replaced by players of the calibre that Manchester United were used to. And consequently, things, there's a little bit of backstabbing going on, and managers were coming and going. So from being the best team in Europe, within 4 years, Manchester United were in the second division. And would have seemed impossible in 1968. Tommy Docherty was in charge when I left, who I didn't get on with, so I did what I thought was unthinkable. I left Manchester United. And it's a bit difficult to replace people like Paddy Crerand and Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law overnight, and that's what the club found difficult.
Alex, you, I suppose, well, you spanned the eras because you know you'd been there a year or two.
Right.
We went into the 70s with Wilf McGuinness in charge, actually.
That's right. Well, Wilf, and then we had Frank and Farrell. Then the Doc came, and then I finished off with Dave Sexton.
Couldn't have four more contrasting people than
No.
that, could you? Really?
No, I survived them.
Made to look very comfortable by Stepney. Nicol. Lovely play. Here's Almston. That's a fine run.
Ryan Fremont! What a magnificent goal!
Fine tackle by Bucket.
We'll bring it a couple. And the ball is in! What a quality goal!
Luna Corey got in. And United are back in front.
McElroy with change of feet. And a great goal! Trying to cut it and does! Gordon Hill!
Straight off. Don't you believe it? Pearson, a chance on here. And Pearson is the scorer.
The moment of release from the tensions that have been building up for the past half an hour and more. The expressions will tell their own story of the feelings of tension. The greeting from the Manchester United supporters to their team. Massive flags and some very original banners. Good confident start by Manchester United. No signs of nerves from the youngsters. Nicely through to Houston. And Thomas to concede the first corner of this FA Cup semi-final between the two giants of the First Division. 63 goals Derby have scored in the league, 62 Manchester United. Got a back flick, and over the top from Koppel. Had to stab at it as it came to him. Hill, nicely played to Daly. The query is up. Hill, trying to count it and does! Gordon Hill! And really the trap was sprung from the moment at the other end of the field that the return ball from Davis to Todd wasn't a good one. Good break by Manchester United. And that confident, cocky youngster from London's Millwall has put Manchester United in front. Curling shot that got over the keeper. With Steve Koppel. Good kick against McFarlane, but he's solidly in behind Stuart Pearson. Good play by Pearson. Daly. 5 players up. Thomas turning it away. Pearson. It was deflected for the corner. Hill, the man whose goal divides the teams. Good tackle by Powell. But McElroy up on it. Pearson back for McElroy. Good work by the keeper. Nicely built attack by Manchester United, involving Hill, McElroy and Pearson. Davis in the middle, so is James. Here's Davis! Straight in the arms of Stepney. Got across well, did Stepney. Turned himself from Riott's cross. Daly, what a lovely dummy. Gemmell going away, McElroy is down, the other number 8, Gemmell.
two United players out on the halfway line.
Oh, that's Banjo and Sammy. I think that's when Brucey Rioch clobbered you, isn't it?
David Nish down as well. We've got three bodies on the field. And Pearson absolutely incensed. Obviously feeling that he was hit, and my heaven, there's a bruise on his cheekbone. Here's Nish.
Wallop.
We got it. There he goes. There he goes. Look, boy, mate. Look, Toddy.
Was involved in the other situation. Pearson just taking off and going for Rioch. He felt he was hard done by, and he's taken the law into his own hands. The contrast between the two ends of the ground. Total noise from behind Graham Mosley's goal. And Hill, it was deflected! And that surely ties it up! Gordon Hill's second goal! And all around the ground now, all you can see is red and white of Manchester United. And there's the happiest Londoner that ever went to Manchester. Gordon Hill, 2 goals. And United 2-0, and now within touching distance of Wembley. There's no doubt about the verdict. It's United and their supporters want more. McElroy.
Oh, Brucey again. No. He clobbered him this time.
McElroy reacting. Tensions then boiling over. Rioch not liking the fact that United were playing with just keeping possession, and a mass of spectators on the field, and the kids are at Wembley.
It was great because we came through, and everybody said that we were still a young squad. And we, are we there? And then it all happened. It just happened on that day. And I think what really happened was that Derby came out and they were going for about 3 or 4 trophies. They were going for the league, the FA Cup, and I think it was the European Cup. There were 3, weren't there? And I think we started it off when we beat them. They only picked up 1 trophy at the end of the day, and for us it was a start.
Are going through Tommy Docherty's mind. He came here 4 times with Scotland as a player, lost 3 and drew 1. He came here as a player in the Cup final with Preston in '54 and lost, and this is his 3rd FA Cup final as a manager. United players walking through: Stuart Pearson, Gordon Hill, young Arthur Alveston, Jimmy Greenock and his brother Brian right behind him. Truly, this is the supporters' final, because either one of these famous clubs could have filled Wembley with just their own following.
Well, it was one thing that I hadn't won. I'd won the league, I'd won the European Cup, and I was getting on in years, and I knew possibly this was my last chance, and it was great to go back, and I was very fortunate, especially 2 years on the trot after losing against Southampton.
It was a great disappointment the year before, getting beat by Southampton. I think everybody expected us to win. Certainly we expected to win.
Well, this may not be one of the great games, but it's pretty finely balanced. And there's been plenty of incident too. McAlliar to Stokes, who's onside! 1-0!
When we saw the goal they scored, it wasn't a classic by any means, and we all thought we all thought it was offside anyhow. So I mean, it's too late now. I know it counts, but we thought it was offside. But the next year, playing against Liverpool, it might have helped us a little bit because we knew what we had to do. We were the underdogs. Liverpool were the big favourites. A bit like the year before, we were the favourites. Southampton had nothing to lose.
But losing that final increased the resolve to go back there the
But I
following
think
year.
it done a lot for the young players in the team. You know, because we'd come up from we'd been relegated, and we'd won the second division, and Doc changed the system. He came into a lot of young players and put in a few experienced players in. Well, in all honesty, we went there a year too early, and it proved it.
There's Keegan back to Case. And Stepney typically gets Manchester United away with a quick, intelligent throw to Koppel. Nicol. Good early ball for Jimmy Greenough. Is Pearson. Ball just running off Pearson's shin. But it was a good build-up. Manchester United playing in the same direction, left to right, as they did in the first half last year against Southampton. This is Koppel. And again, it's Macari. McElroy's pushed forward. He got a second chance with that, and he found Hill. Pearson's going to the near post. It was awkward for Clements. As Jimmy Greenoff's header on for Pearson. A chance on here. And Pearson is the scorer. Made possible at first by a mistake from Keegan, who gave the ball away. Then Jimmy Greenoff with an astute flick.
I spoke to Ray Clem about it before, and he said he thought I was going to have another touch. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Maybe here.
I mean, there's no. And he was good placed. He was well placed, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's just it went so quick and dipped at the last moment. It's very difficult for a goalie to go down that low.
McDermott for Liverpool. And there's a saying in football that Liverpool are at their most dangerous when they're behind. That remains to be seen. Jones. Case. Good turn. Oh, yes! On by Macari. Smith slips slightly. Jimmy Greenoff. And has it gone in by Macari, is it? Lou Macari got in. And United are back in front.
Was that your hand? Was that your chest?
No.
Was that his hand or chest? Yes. Your hand was there, wasn't it?
And you're still saying if you're goal, aren't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think when Ray Clements and Tommy Smith said in the interview that it wouldn't have gone in. I mean, that would do for me.
Highway finds Kennedy. And still the Liverpool machine won't relent. But it may have to in just a few seconds. Agonising wait for the United fans, this, and for the players. Kennedy for Liverpool. And there it is. Manchester United have won the FA Cup. The managers congratulating one another. 12 months after losing here, Tommy Docherty is at last a winner. Tremendous moment for these young Manchester United players who walked off Wembley in tears, one or two of them, Brian Greenoff among them, last May when they lost to Southampton, but now it's all smiles and celebrations. Alex Stepney raising his arms, he's got a cup winner's medal at last. Martin Buchan of Manchester United to receive the FA Cup from Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Kent. Ted Croker with a smile on his face, organising the presentation. Alex Stepney, 34 years of age, his first FA Cup winners' medal. Jimmy Nicholl, only 20. Look how pleased he is. Sammy McElroy. Stuart Pearson, not just with the bandage now, but also with a supporter's scarf. Gordon Hill, who was brought off, but he perhaps won't mind so much this year about that. David McCreary, the young substitute. Steve Coppell, a Liverpudlian. Lou Macari, who shot, deflected it off the man behind him, Jimmy Greenough, for the winning goal. Jimmy Greenough at 30, one of the true professionals of the game. Arthur Albiston just starting his career. And Brian Greenough, who must be surely one of the men of the match. Looks for Jordan. Jordan being marked by Hanson, a fellow Scot. But a good ball from Jordan to McElroy. Coppell is to his right, so is Macari. Here's Lou Macari. Good save, Clements. Here's Jordan. McElroy. And Ray Clements saves Liverpool. Dalglish. Coppell. Struck Kennedy. Now it's Highway. Good cross. McDermott's on the end of this. Souness! Good save by Bailey. Jordan against the bar. Joe Jordan so close to scoring. Neil. Jordan with the tackle. And Clements this time. Well, there's no ill feeling there between those two. There's McQueen. Souness, Dalglish. McDermott. Dalglish has made a run forward. There he is with Buchan. Held him off. Typical Dalglish, that was. Neil. Kennedy! Hit the bar! And away by Buchan. Well, that's one against the woodwork now at either end. Offside this time, McDermott. Thomas. Jordan. Not a bad ball at all. Steve Coppell. Goes down under challenge. Nothing given. I think it was accidental by Kennedy. Some hopeful appeals by Manchester United. But I think Coppell missed his chance by not controlling the ball instantly. Well, that was a bit high by Macari, who's already been booked in the first half with dissent. It was on Highway, the challenge. Don't think there's too much ill feeling on Highway's part, but Macari must be careful. Thompson is in there. Kennedy! Jordan! He appeals for a corner, but he gets only a glance from the referee. Kennedy to Dalglish. Souness. Dalglish again. Macari tries to get to him. Dalglish against Buchan now. Down he goes, appeals. Nothing given. Thomas. McElroy is just inside. Greenough is far post. Jimmy Greenough!
Let's make a fool of myself here, look.
Couldn't catch you, Jim. Couldn't catch you.
Oh, that's crazy. Give us a kiss. Thank you.
And from Joe. And from Joe.
Think about that. Clements made my mind up.
Yes, he did coming out.
You know, like you'll know, Panch, you've got two eyes, haven't you? You're watching them. And I thought, shall I take it on the chest or what? And he came out and he just made a man for me, Alex.
We're in time added on for stoppages as Johnson goes in. The ball comes to Souness. Coppell tries to shut down Hughes. Hansen. Well, they've given Souness some space. Hughes climbs up with McQueen. Oh, what about that for a clearance from the floor? It's all over! Manchester United are there! And Bob Paisley, sportingly, goes across to Dave Sexton. And Jimmy Greenough, one of the game's great professionals, has achieved it all over again. Manchester United 1, Liverpool 0. Jimmy Greenoff the scorer, 30 minutes from the end, and Manchester United supporters are celebrating again. Gary Bailey, the goalkeeper, goes across with Greenoff to the fans, and this now is Manchester United in an FA Cup final for the third time in 4 seasons.
After all those semi-finals that you lost early in your career that I remember you telling me about once, I mean, it must be wonderful to be back there, what, twice in 3 years?
Yes, and the thing is, I went there and 4 times got beat in semi-finals, and now it's the second time at Wembley, so it could be the second win, and I've still another couple of years in my contract left, so it could be 4 wins now.
It's confidence for you, which was reflected by your brother, actually, before the game, because he told me in the corridor it was going to be 1-0 and you were going to score, so there's some sort of telepathy there, I think.
I don't know.
But for all the players, Dave, obviously it's rewarding, but I think rewarding for you in a way because the players that you bought, like Gordon McQueen, Joe Jordan, Mickey Thomas, you're now seeing the best of those, aren't you?
Yes, they've played really well. Well, Joe's been off for a long while with injury, and Gordon's played really well the last 3 months. And so, you know, everybody really has done tremendous. It's fantastic. What a club Manchester United are 3 times at Wembley in 4 years. Fantastic. But, well, obviously Arsenal are a good side, and we drew down there and they beat us at home. So we'll be looking to get our revenge against them.
Gary Bailey, Jimmy Nicholl, Sammy McIlroy, who's had his next to Jimmy Nicholl, who's getting a chat there with Prince Charles. Sammy McIlroy with the new hairstyle. Arthur Orbiston, the other fullback. Nicholl is the right back, Orbiston the left back. Joe Jordan, and next to him, Gordon McQueen, little Lou Macari. Very pleased to be picked, Lou Macari. It was a close thing between him and Brian Greenoff. Steve Coppell, Mickey Thomas, the only Welshman on the field, but there are, as I shall tell you in a minute, many Irishmen and Scots. Jimmy Greenoff and Brian Greenoff, the substitute. Brian, who played in the 76 and 77 finals at centre-back, and Dave Sexton, one of the most thoughtful and talented coaches in football. There's Sammy Nelson. Buchan and Sunderland now close together. This is Brady trying to shake off Macari. Sweet skills from Brady. Stapleton out on the right. Trying to feed Price. Price is in here for Arsenal. Talbot on right and Sunderland the right as well. Alan Sunderland got in. McQueen up with Jennings and a foul on the goalkeeper. A foul on the goalkeeper, no goal. Gordon McQueen penalised.
Punch. Punch it down there. He didn't touch it out, did he? Goal, wasn't it? The goalkeeper touched it there, didn't he? Punched it down there.
I think the heat is going to play quite a part in this final. Pat Rice has gone sprinting down the right for Arsenal. This is Talbot. This is Brady. Good skills from Brady. 2 waiting in the centre for the cross. Stapleton! 2-0 to Arsenal. Stapleton scores. Gary Bailey, no real chance with the header. And Liam Brady has played a part in both the goals.
as though all the frustration and disappointment of last year has dissolved into a fierce determination to make up for it today. McIlroy angry and puts a fist out on Bryant, and a head as well on Brian Talbot by McIlroy. There was a little bit of aggravation between those two in the first 7 or 8 minutes, and the referee needs to keep a very close eye on the two number 4s. Just 4 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. Free kick to United. Jimmy Greenough fouled. And they've got to make something of this now, Manchester United, to stay in with a chance of a dramatic recovery in the last few minutes. Left for Koppel. Thomas almost got a flick on, appeals for hands against Jordan. And McQueen! Gordon McQueen turned it in! United have scored with just under 4 minutes to go. It's 2-1. The free kick taken on the right. Joe Jordan turned at the far post, and Gordon McQueen's left foot turned it in. And United are back with a chance. What about that? McQueen was in the box, getting the important touch. Everybody was waiting upfield, and they still are for United. Koppel. McIlroy's through. McIlroy is through. And McIlroy has done it. What drama here. McIlroy for United. It's 2-2. They've scored twice in a minute. And McIlroy. Manchester United through and through, Sammy McIlroy. He went round 1. He went round 2. He got the left foot to the ball. And it's 2 goals each. McQueen the scorer of the first, McIlroy the second. And it's 2-2. There's a minute left on the clock. Brady for Arsenal. Right across, Sunderland! It's there! It's 3-2! Arsenal are back in front through Alan Sunderland. United have possibly thrown it away within seconds of getting it back. Well, that picture says more than any words can do at this time. Dave Sexton sportingly congratulates the Arsenal bench.
How would you compare yourselves with the Manchester United of the 80s, with people like Ray Wilkins and Gordon Strachan, Norman Whiteside really blossoming?
I remember a game we played a testimonial game, and it was the cup winning side against, it was, do you remember, Jim? And it was against Ron's team, and it was early 80s, wasn't it? And it was some testimonial match, and they had all, Sammy, that's right, and it was, all the players are out there, they had all the stars, they had Stapleton, Wilkins, they had everybody out there. Half time we were playing, we knew it was going to be a game. I'd come back from playing in the States, and everybody said, right, okay, this is a real game. So we got all prepared for it, and I remember that we went out there, and by half time it was 4-0. 4-0. We'd gone out there and literally destroyed them, 4-0. And I remember somebody telling us at half time, it doesn't look right that it's 4-0, and the score ended up 4-4. And I remember driving one in, and then all of a sudden Jimmy coming up, flashing it in the back of the net, and Kevin Moran was turning around and said, and you could hear him like, good God. And it was like, we weren't mucking around. It was a case of, you put your team, although it was a testimonial, Ron, you got your team, it would cost them about £7 million then. And we said, right, here we go, the $7 million men, and it was us. And the doc said, you're out there to play.
The people still involved say, well, yeah, you've done it for us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, but yeah, we've got to get on with it. Probably right anyway, isn't it?
But we are united.
It's never left
Jim.
us.
We are united. We
still want them to win every game.
We played in them red and white uniforms. We
I
give
used to-
everything we got.
I used to imagine how many people would come back, always come up and say, I remember you, I remember, and it's great.
Yeah, you always follow.
Because they are the
because
club,
tradition at United is you carry on winning.
I think you're very proud to have played for a great club like them, and with them still doing so well now.
Yeah,
I think it's
you are Man United. In them days, we were very confident of playing anybody. We weren't scared of anybody.
Dependable Alex Stepney is chosen by our panel as the goalkeeper of the decade, fighting off competition from Paddy Roach and Gary Bailey. Canadian-born Jimmy Nicholl gets the nod for the right-back slot, ahead of players like Tony Young and Alex Forsyth. This gifted attacking defender appeared in both the 1982 and 1986 World Cup finals for Northern Ireland. The unanimous vote for United's best left-back of the 70s is Arthur Albiston, who actually made his FA Cup debut in the memorable final of 77 at the tender age of 19. Sammy McIlroy won over 80 caps for Northern Ireland with his dynamic play in midfield. Had his header against Southampton in 1976 not struck the crossbar, Sammy may well have won 2 FA Cup winners' medals. Composed defender Brian Greenhoff gets the vote for the centre-back position. A United apprentice who turned professional in 1970, Brian made 18 appearances for England. Stylish skipper Martin Buchan is chosen at the heart of the back four. Signed from Aberdeen in 1972, Martin won 34 Scotland caps and has the distinction of captaining both English and Scottish Cup winning sides. Classy winger Stevie Coppell was studying at the university when the Dock swiped him from under the noses of Liverpool and Everton. When a knee injury forced him to retire at the age of 28, Steve had played nearly 400 games for United. The only player in this United Dream Team without an international cap is Old Trafford favourite Jimmy Greenhoff. Jimmy was signed from Stoke City for £100,000 in 1976 and scored many vital goals for United before joining Crewe in 1980. James Stewart Pearson, Pancho to his teammates, was signed by the Dock in United's relegation season of 1973-74, and his goals helped them to win the second division title the next year. His powerful style proved very popular with the fans until his transfer to West Ham in 1979. The central midfield slot goes to the third Scot in the side, Lou Macari. Lou played over 400 times for United and scored nearly 100 goals in 11 years in the number 10 shirt. Finally, the choice for the left wing is Gordon Hill. In 2.5 seasons, the crafty Cockney scored 51 goals.
Setting it up for a shot. Here it comes! Boston goal!
McIlroy, off the legs and Coppell!